So today we're going to be rebuilding the rear hydraulic cylinders on our John Deere 6410 tractor. Now, this left side started leaking on us during hay season. You can see it's actually leaking pretty badly around that ram. And while the right side is not leaking yet, these cylinders have the same amount of wear, same amount of use on them. So if one side's leaking, the other one's not far behind. So we're going to go ahead and rebuild both. And the first thing we need to do is remove them from the tractor. Now all right, let's go inside. All right, got our cylinder here, got a bucket underneath it. Let's slide this thing out and see what it looks like. Yeah, this old plastic wiper seal is just completely disintegrated. There are already some big chunks missing out of it, and that's what likely led to the failure of these internal seals. Now, the wiper itself doesn't hold any pressure, but its job is to prevent crud from getting down in the cylinder and damaging the seals that actually do hold pressure. And you can see here, this one's not been preventing anything from going anywhere for a very long time. So it is coming out in pieces. That's okay, as long as it comes out. Now, I know a lot of people might be questioning the wisdom of using steel tools so close to a hydraulic ram, because you don't want to scratch, dent, damage, or nick these rams, because any damage to that will damage your seals. I am using a screwdriver because I have done this more times than I care to remember and am pretty confident in what I'm doing. If you are a little more nervous, using brass tools is never a bad idea, but this works. This can be done totally safely. Just use a little common sense. Don't start beating on things with a hammer. And if it feels like it's trying to fight, stop and find out why. Sometimes it will just fight and need a little force, and sometimes there's something else going on that you need to figure out. Now, on the bottom of this ram, there is a metal snap ring, and you can access it by removing the hydraulic fitting at the bottom. And it's in a groove at the bottom of the ram, and we need to get it popped out of that groove, which will allow the ram to come out the top of the cylinder. So I'm taking my screwdriver, I'll try to show you, but I've reached down in that hole and popped it over the end of the cylinder, just like that, or over the end of the ram, I should say. And now I'm just going to hold it with the screwdriver and rotate the ram. So as this goes around, the screwdriver will push this ring out of the groove, and it should allow this ram to come out the end of the cylinder, like this right here. Move my bucket so I don't make too much more of a mess. And there's our ram, and right there is the groove we just had to pull that ring out of. This seal just broke. You can see here it is. See how brittle that is? I mean, you just barely touch it and it starts cracking apart and breaking. This is what actually holds pressure. This is what actually failed and allowed this thing to start leaking as badly as it's been leaking. So let's go over here to our new seals. Now, there are a lot of ways you can do these seals. A lot of guys like to take them and soak them in hot water to make them a little bit more pliable and make them fold a little more easily. That is not a bad idea, but I am not going to do that because it's very, very rare I've found that to actually be a necessity. Most of the time, if you are cautious and work with a little bit of, just kind of pay attention to what you're doing, you can get these things in no problem without having to soften them up. softening them doesn't hurt, but you know, it's an extra step. And I have done all of my work really as a mechanic out in the field where I didn't have access to things like microwaves or boiling water or anything like that. So you just get used to doing this the hard way, so to speak. So you can see there's our new seal all snapped right in place. Now there are two different sizes of these cylinders. There are two different diameters. I think there's a 62 millimeter and a 75, or maybe it's 65 and 72. But you absolutely have to make sure you buy the right seal kit. A 6410 could have either size on it. So before you order your seals, make sure you measure the diameter of that ram and get the right one. You guys can see this is not a difficult job. This is not an overly time-consuming job either. We have been at this for just a few minutes and we're already over halfway done. So I just need that to snap down in our groove like it just did. And now I can take the little locking ring. The trick to this whole job, I am afraid, is going to be putting this little locking ring back on the base of this ram once I get it down in there. We're going to drop our ring back in. All the way down, ring. Keep going. All the way down, ring. Keep going. There you are. Oh yeah, you can tell these new seals are a lot tighter than those old ones. Yeah, that new seal is a whole lot tighter than that old one, because you saw how easily I was able to remove this ram with just my hands while we were disassembling it. Hold this at a little bit of an angle so my ring doesn't roll away. Catch the ring. Yeah. Catch the ring, push the ram in so that I can get it where I need it to be in the groove. And now we will turn the ram, and hopefully I will be able to just feed this back up on here all nice and smoothly. And you guys heard it snap, and I will bring you over here and show you, even though it may be a little tough to see. Right there is our groove. There's the ring on one side, there's the ring on the other side, and our cylinder is completely reassembled. So let's go put it back on the tractor. I apologize if you guys can't see anything but the back of my head. It's just that while I'm doing this, I got to be able to see what I'm actually doing. Okay, so we've rebuilt our one leaky hydraulic cylinder. You can see that here. I am starting on our second cylinder that is not currently leaking, but we're going to repack it anyway because these two are fed together, and if one leaks, the other isn't far behind. I've run into a small snag because our lower pin here is stuck. So I'm going to start removing that lower pin. I will bring that to you guys in another video. For today, let's just say thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and more later.